let's explore quadrilaterals. Taking a look at the board, we have 4 examples of quadrilaterals. But what makes these figures quadrilaterals? Let's see if we can figure that out. Let's see if we can find out what these 4 figures have in common. First, let's take a look at their angles. Maybe that has something to do with it. In this figure, it looks like we have 4 right angles. Each angle measures 90 degrees. But in this figure, we do not have 4 right angles. Or in this figure. And definitely not in this figure. This figure looks like it's all over the place. Okay, so maybe angles don't have anything to do with it. Let's take a look at the sides. Well, in this figure, it looks like we have a pair of parallel sides. But we do not have any parallel sides in this figure, and definitely no parallel sides in this figure. Okay, so let's count the number of sides. Here, if we count the number of sides, we see that this figure has 4 sides. And if we count the number of sides in this figure, we get 4 sides again. This figure has 4 sides, and even this figure right here has 4 sides as well. That is what makes a quadrilateral a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a polygon that has 4 sides. So, if you have a polygon that has 4 sides, you have a quadrilateral. Now there are some special types of quadrilaterals. These quadrilaterals all have some special qualities about them. It gives them an extra name. So let's take a look at some special types of quadrilaterals. First, we'll take in a quadrilateral that looks like this. If we look at this quadrilateral, we know it's a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. But if we take a closer look, it looks like this pair of sides are parallel to one another. In fact, they're parallel and congruent. We mark that they're congruent with this little mark here. That means that each of those sides is the same length. And if we look at this pair of sides, we can see that those are parallel and congruent as well. Here, this quadrilateral has 2 pairs of parallel and congruent sides. This is a parallelogram. Now there are other kinds of parallelograms as well. So let's take a look at those. Here, let's take a look at a parallelogram where all 4 sides are congruent. So all the sides are the same length. It's a different type of parallelogram. A parallelogram where all the sides are congruent is called a rhombus. Now let's look at another kind. Another kind of parallelogram looks like this. Here we have a parallelogram, so we have 2 pairs of parallel and congruent sides. But in this parallelogram, all 4 angles are right angles. They each measure 90 degrees. A parallelogram that has all right angles is called a rectangle. So, this is a rectangle. Now what would happen if we put a rhombus and a rectangle together? Well, let's try. If we put a rhombus and a rectangle together, we get a parallelogram that looks like this. We have 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. This figure is called a square. Now there's one other kind of special type of quadrilateral. Let's take a look at it. This special quadrilateral has only 1 pair of parallel sides. Exactly 1. No more and no less. Here, these sides are parallel to one another. A figure that looks like this is a trapezoid. Now, all of these figures are quadrilaterals because they all have 4 sides. They're just different types of quadrilaterals. A trapezoid is not a parallelogram because a trapezoid has exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. But a trapezoid, a parallelogram, a rhombus, a rectangle, and a square are all types of quadrilaterals. And a quadrilateral is simply a polygon that has 4 sides.